It is not hard to find a movie licensed game, but it is profoundly hard to find a movie licensed game that is not, well, that is not shit. X-Men Origins Wolverine is a film that definitely happened at some point of our existence. The most memorable part of it for me was how together with my friend I watched the leaked version, where all of the CGI effects were missing, so it was an extremely confusing experience. But besides that, I can't really say that I'm the biggest fan of this film, and it looks like I'm not the only one who feels like that. However, there is something that I would certainly call great about this painfully average piece of fiction, and that something is its licensed game which came out in the ancient 2009. The thing about this film is that it was PG-13, you know, to cash in on that sweet 13 to 95 years old demographic. So naturally the game, which is based on that same film, is an insane gore-fest with tons of dismemberment and where you can watch straight through your own chest cavity. Wait, no, that doesn't make even the tiniest bit of sense at all. But making sense is boring, and this game is anything but boring. You started by being shot from the sky and bombing the enemy fortifications with your own body. Before you even realize which button does what, you're already knees deep in blood and committed at least a couple of Geneva Convention violations. The start of this game is like a roaring engine, which just refuses to ever stop. Except when it does stop and forces you into an obligatory stealth section. But besides that, it's just pure insanity. Impaling people, cutting them in half, setting them on fire, shish kebabbing them with their own blood as sauce. It's just such an exciting and satisfying combat loop, which doesn't give you even a second to breathe before throwing another Hulk-ish abomination in your way. And you will see those ones a lot. If I had to be the party pooper and bring some of the not so fun parts of this game, then it would probably be the enemy variety, which kinda gets repetitive in a while. Reducing a person to nothing more than a mess of blood and tissue never gets old, don't get me wrong, but for a game which is all gas and no brakes, there are too many waves of your generic, dude with an automatic gun type of enemy. And the best thing that Wolverine doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a short but packed to the brim solid action game. It is for sure better than any other movie licensed game that I ever had the misfortune to stumble upon. Even if we judge it on its own merits and not compare it to the Ninth Circle of Hell, where you can find gems like The Smooths Dance Party and Hannah Montana the movie, the game, then it's still just a good game. Well, yeah, the plot is basically non-existent, and Logan's voice actor sounds like he'd rather be literally anywhere else but here.
Please, Kayla, stay with me. You're okay. You're okay.
What's your plan, Captain?
I'm gonna find him and kill him.
However, I still had a lot of fun with this game, and it's not just nostalgia talking in me right now, because yes, probably the only reason I know that this game exists is only because me with my buddy somehow stumbled across its CD by accident when we were like 11. And if you show a clueless 11-year-old who just started entering puberty anything where you can cut someone in half with massive metal claws attached directly to your fists, then they would piss their pants from all of the uncontrolled excitement. At least I think that's how it works. Maybe I was just one fucked up in the head little vermin. But no matter what was the reason, me with my just as easily excited by grotesque violence friend had a great time with X-Men Origins Wolverine. I mean, I think we had a great time. You see, at the point of me writing all this, it has been more than a decade since those times. More than a goddamn fucking decade. Now I don't visit the place where we used to geek out about all of the newest games for like hours every single day. I don't even live in that same city or that same country. Shit, I don't even remember when was the last time I've spoken to that same person whom I considered to be my best friend then. But at least I have all those memories to cherish the long gone times, right? You see, it is by a complete random chance that I even remembered that this game even exists. If I didn't see it while randomly searching through the infinite sea of live streams, I would have completely forgotten how this game at some point was a pretty important part of my life. I vaguely remember the feelings of joy which we had when we brutally decapitated some poor bastards, but that faint, elusive, almost perished memory is all I have of the game and the era which I associate with it. And the idea of forgetting the moments that once were so precious to me is kinda terrifying, but time moves forward and we can't stop things from changing. At some point, some parts of ourselves must go, and at some point the memories I cherish right now will be gone in the void of ignorance. And whether I want it or not, this game will be gone and forgotten not only by me, but by the entire world as well. You see, X-Men Origins is what I'd call a ghost game. Because of the licensing hell, the game is delisted from every single legal platform. You can't even get this game right now without getting lucky and finding a used copy, or knowing your ways through the not entirely legal parts of the web. Why is this even a big deal? Because it means that unlike some of the classic, fan-adored games, which get the royal treatment of never-ending remasters and remakes, through which they can be preserved for the future generations, this game will be completely gone at some point. We will run out of available used copies, and the support on shady channels will stop. And then it will be like X-Men Origins had never even existed. Only the vague articles and mentions will remain, like a memorandum of something that was erased by the tide of time. And it's not a one-time occurrence. How many games already disappeared without even a trace of them left? For every cult classic game which appears in every single person's top 10 games of all times, how many just die without even a single person remembering that these games even happened? If you think about it, the gaming landscape is more of a graveyard. Countless projects die without even a chance for recognition, just for a few to reap all of the fruits. And we can't change any of that because it's just how it all works. Not how games can or even should become games of the years. A lot of time, the erasure of a game happens because of the choices that same game decided to make. And sometimes it's just the circumstances that are not under anyone's control. X-Men Origins was a movie licensed game, and back in the day, that's just how movie licensed games were made. It's no one's fault that it ended up like this. But even if we have no one to blame, it still sucks that this wacky, albeit kinda rough around the edges gem is destined for certain doom. Especially now, with the announcement of new original Wolverine game that will erase X-Men Origins from the search results by being more relevant and trendy. When I look at this game, I see a window into my childhood, and the memories of it that get more and more scarce with every single year. But just like I know that I will certainly forget so much about those times, I know that the world will forget X-Men Origins Wolverine. There will be a million more essays about how great and revolutionary Batman Arkham Asylum was, but the game which came out the exact same year will be nothing more than a footnote in history. And I do agree that Arkham Asylum is a better, if not the best superhero game of all times. But thus being not as good as the best of the best means that X-Men Origins is not worthy enough to be even remembered. With the years passing, I will most probably forget I even made this video. You will certainly forget that you watched it. And with that, my last possible link to the game and to the memories I have connected with it will be gone, consumed by times and more relevant titles. And that's just... well, that's just kinda sucks.